Well, I can't thank all of you for joining me enough. Thank you for being here, liking, subscribing, sharing, all that good stuff. Very important. If you're catching this on the replay, about burnt my finger off. I appreciate that. We'll get excited here in a little bit. No hurry at the moment. Nadia from Greece. How are you? One of the countries I would love to go visit. My wife too. We thought about taking a cruise there in a year or two, maybe three, depending on how are you. How are you doing? Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. It is a beautiful, hot summer day in my part of the world. Try to light some candles to keep the skeeters away. All right. Well, I understand. I'm glad you're feeling safer. You know, it's important to feel safe. I, as somebody who's been around a long time, I'll tell you, this happens all the time. Every few years, there's a big dust up, right? There's a really big dust up. We got to, somebody bombs somebody does something. And what I've learned over the years is not to worry too much about it. Hey, Meme, how are you? I know that nobody wants complete and total destruction. They may all want dominance and control, but most countries, politicians, and people aren't stupid enough to destroy the planet. So I know you're kind of close to the action being in Greece, but what I'm trying to tell you is it's okay to be worried. It's okay to take precaution. Think about things, but don't stress. In a couple of years, it's going to happen again and again. So it's all right. Meme, doing good, man. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody say hello to each other, by the way. Gabe. Hey, the Gabe. How are you, buddy? Frankie, your voice sounds familiar to me. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe we're old friends and we don't know it. The Gabe. How are you doing? Pretty good. HTN's in the house. The Gabe, HTN, say hello, HTN, RN, sorry. The Gabe, it's been a long, it has. I don't know where you've been. Nadia, thanks for your advice. Appreciate it a lot. Oh, no worry. Happy to do it. I just know how this is. It's been going on forever, right? And things will change. Oh, give us a thumbs up, everybody. Everybody in the background, though, we need a thumbs up. So don't forget that. Give us a thumbs up. Super chats are always welcome. Memes says burger. Summer from Gabe. What's this crown? Ooh, the crown, the Burger King. That's right. The crown is whoever chats the most, makes comments, do little hearts or dollar signs, or donates money. They get to be ranked as a who's number one. Right now, I've got a feeling Meme's number one. So you looks like you're number three. So yeah, whoever talks a lot is pretty much it. That's right. I'm going to pull you guys up so I can try to read the chat a little bit better. So give me a second here. So everybody's always, it's kind of like, you got to, well, I don't know how to explain it real simply, but every once in a while, somebody's a bully and somebody has to get smacked. And that's kind of where Germany is always no one, what can I do? The crown, please, 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 what? Yeah, that's kind of how it works, Gabe. Oh, maybe I can't read the chat very well because my sunglasses are on. You guys like my sunglasses? These are my reading sunglasses, or my prescription sunglasses. There we go. You're all just fun. What I say. Yep. By the way, Win was not here. You had a tornado. I'm gonna have to change glasses. I can't. The glasses are too dark. Give me a second. I don't look as cool, but there we go. That's better. So you had an EF1 tornado? Dang. Femzoy, hello. Do you support trans rights? Well, I support human rights. Human rights. That's what I support. I don't believe anybody has the right to make anybody believe or feel something they don't want to. So I don't believe anybody should push religion, sexuality, anything on anybody. People have a right to be who they are. So, so why am I not the first rank? It takes time. It takes a little bit of time there, Gabe. You know, it takes a bit of time. It sounds like you're yelling at me, typing all in caps. It's like, why am I not number one? You know, I'm talking a lot. So, I support human rights. I think it has nothing to do with anything else but being a human, period. So, I don't care what you are, what you do, you know, whatever you do in your personal life is your business. When you try to make me believe something I don't want to believe, religion, anything, I don't give a crap. Politics, it doesn't matter. Not into that. Tim says, I am okay with people Christian, but only if they keep it in the bedroom and stay away from children. Nothing wrong with that. That's your opinion. And I think that's perfectly okay for you to have those opinions. I have no problem with that. So, if that's what you believe, how you feel, I support your human right to be able to say and do those things. You live your life the way you want to live it. Just don't tell anybody else how to live their life. Same thing with Democrats, Republicans, non-Republicans, you know, Buddhists, you know, the Chinese, the Americans, anybody. I don't know. Oh, she's probably working, meme. She's probably working. The Gabe says, I just had some peaches. I don't eat a lot of sugar. Gabe, looks like you had too much sugar. I know. Nadia, you're right, man. Looks like Gabe had a lot of sugar, didn't it? But he had some peaches. That's a natural sugar. Venice is working, my friend. Maybe it's that. You know, canned peaches have a lot of sugar in it. I agree with that. HDNRN says, I just care about, maybe I ought to move the camera closer. You mind if I get a little closer so I can read the chat? I get new glasses this week, so let me get caught up on Henry. Henry says, I don't care about what you are as long as you are being respectful. I agree. By the way, Gabe says, was not in the stream. I grown 17 years, now I'm 20. Okay, all right, good. Can I be a mod? Yeah, give me a second. I'll make you a moderator, Gabe. Yeah, I'm sure Lorelai did. Lorelai handled, I'm sure she did. Did you not get an email from her? Stop talking. I need to be first. Well, quit yelling, Gabe. You're typing in all caps, which in the language looks like you're yelling at people. And I know you're not, but so just turn your all caps off and you'll be all right. Don't spam in, Gabe. You got to be fair about it. That's right. There you go. Yeah, if you type in all caps, like an email or correspondence, it's an indication that you're yelling. So just a word to the wise on that one. Nadia, you're so right. Anything comes in a can can be a problem. You agree? I agree 1,000% with you. One of the America's most unhealthiest thing is all. I mean, we're the worst country in the world. I've said it. I don't know many times. I can't tell you how many times I've talked about how horrible the food is in America, and that when I was teaching international students, I would tell them don't become Americanized. Don't eat the American food. So I'm with you. Gabe says no way. Thumbs up. Ta-da. Canned peaches in a while. First one. What did the meme say? Chill, Gabe. Germany is number one. Henry, how are you? You're in the background there. How's it going in Mississippi? It's hot here, I'll admit. It's probably 90, 92 degrees, so it's a little warm out here in my patio. But I got the shade, the sun blocker, and I got the ceiling fan going, and there is a breeze. So I wanted to sit out here and been busy all day trying to work on a cruise ship. Not work on the. By the way, give me some thumbs up. We need some thumbs up, guys. You know, I come on here to entertain you guys, and I sweat and I argue with you and I make you think. So I deserve more thumbs ups. You doing good? Nice. Gabe, it's hot there too? Yes. Hey, Henry from the Gaber. Just dealing with a lot right now. Uh-oh, anything we can help with, Henry? Nadia, thanks for the talk, guys. It's 1:30 in the morning. You gotta go. Good night for me. Good day. Nadia, once again, we appreciate you coming in. Thank you for coming in. And please come back. I like having discussions with smart people. Meme, I like having discussions with smart people. Nadia, so no, you guys come back, Nadia, anytime, and thank you for being here. Hey, Gabe. Henry, are you okay? Gabe throws out a question mark. It is hot. Maybe ooh-wee. I like the heat. I'm trying to sweat a little bit. Sometimes you got to sweat. And thank you, Nadia. Sometimes you got to sweat. We got a bunch of people in the background. Why aren't you giving us thumbs ups? Come on, man. Family issues. Yeah. Family issues are always an issue. Are you still planning to go to the Philippines in October? Oh, maybe I'll drink my Gatorade. You guys make sure you say hello to each other. Keep doing that. Anybody want some Gatorade? I can share. I'm going to have some lemon lime Gatorade. This live stream is sponsored by Lemon Lime Gatorade, the only Gatorade that pack drinks. I love Gatorade. I drink all the flavors, but I like this one. You're doing good, Gabe. Well, I could, but it would hurt my phone. We need a vacation too, especially since I'm on a permanent vacation. I need a vacation for my crappy vacation. So you can drink it. Oh man, Marcos, hello Marcos. Thank you for the thumbs up, everybody. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. So Marcos, how are you? What's going on in your world? Well, the title of the live stream was "Fighting with a Bird." I want to show you real quick. I got a flower pot. And there's my dog Lily. You see this hanging basket right there? That white hanging basket? Well, it's a succulent, right? And I got these two robins that have been trying to make a nest in it for about 3 weeks. And so I keep going out there and I plucking all their nest stuff out and throw it on the ground. They keep trying to rebuild it. So I've lowered the nest. I put a spinner in it and I've hung up wind chimes by it. And this morning I caught that stinking bird still in my plant, trying to make a nest in my plant. And I don't want them making a nest in my plant. So driving me crazy. I said, oh, good. I like the hellos. Basket, what's that? Basket with a B, hanging basket. So I'm in a war with a bird. Can you imagine that? I mean, every morning I get up and that bird is in my flower pot and I go out and chase him out. You know, get out of here. Don't come back, man. You're fired. You're out of here. Don't be causing me any grief, man. This is my house. I own that plant, not him. So it's funny though. Lorelai thinks it's a riot because now I sick my dog Lily on the bird too. You know, I'm out here fighting with a damn bird trying to take over my house. And he's not paying any rent, doesn't have a job. What gives that bird the right to come and sit in my flower pot? I don't like it. And look, there's houses everywhere. There's trees everywhere. He can simply just go somewhere else. He doesn't need to be in my place. So, Gabe or crown number 3. Do you even have a crown anymore, Gabe? Or did you lose your crown? Yep. That's all right. So, fluff up my gray hair, my beautiful blonde hair. Next time you can be number 1, Gabe. Meme says, sure. So, you know, we're planning a cruise for next year. I've worked on it today, made a phone call, talked to the cruise line, asked a bunch of questions, get a bunch of information, blah, 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 blah. So I was working on that today. Gabe says, I don't believe you. Why would you not believe Meme? Meme is an excellent young person. HDN. You got your car almost up and running, going to be back on the road next month. So I might take a road trip that away in it. There you go. Being on the boat fun. Yes. A boat. Oh, it's a ship. Gabe, I know you're a youngster, so just to help, you can put a boat on a ship, but you can't put a ship on a boat. So cruise ships are cruise ships, not boats. Boats are little ones. And so just thinking about it that way, if you can put a boat on a ship, but not a ship on a boat, okay? Henry, can you believe I lost my crown? Oh, man. Yep, it happens. It happens. YouTube will decide who they like and who they don't like. So, Gabe. Well, that's good, Henry. I'm glad you're getting your car up and running. Now, are you still going in October? Is October still the plan? I give my best, Meme does. Yes, he does. And I talk, maybe that's why. Maybe they went, oh my goodness. He's just trying to be number 1 by not saying anything with any substance, just putting a lot of words out there. So they went, we got him. So maybe you got to put full sentences in, or, you know, stuff like that. So maybe that's it. Do ya do them? I can go. What? Gabe, I don't understand your question. Could you repeat it, retype it? I don't understand your question, Gabe. Sorry. Gabe, it's not for the amount you talk, it's about the context. That's right. So it's kind of like, you know, chitter chatter. So it's kind of like, remember when we would talk about people come on and they would throw like too many thumbs ups or too many flags. It's kind of like the same thing. Gabe says, can I go to other people's YouTube? Sure, you can go to anybody's. Sure. You know, YouTube would love you to go to everybody's YouTube channel. Absolutely. Yeah, I understand, Gabe. So, yeah, there's nothing stopping you from going to anybody's YouTube channel at all. Okay? So, you know, if Meme has one, or Henry has one, or anybody else has one, you're welcome to go to it. You can go to any live stream in the whole entire universe. Yep. Wait, can I put you in? You can't put me in timeout. No, 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 no. And I don't want you putting other people in timeout unless I tell you it's okay. Because you got to remember, it's my stream, right? And so I get to decide what happens to it. So unless I give permission and tell the blue people, hey, we have a troll in here and I want you to put them in timeout, we don't do that. So that's how that kind of works. The only thing being blue does, it allows you to drop a link to your YouTube channel if you want to. And I have a policy that if you are blue, you're welcome to drop a YouTube link without asking permission. The only other thing it does for the people that I've known a long time, like Meme, Henry, if I tell them, hey, there's a weird person in the background doing something, that they can go and put them in timeout if I can't get to them. So there's really not a big deal to be blue, to be honest. But you can, if you're asking, can I go to YouTube to another person's channel and be blue because I made you a moderator? No. You're only blue on my channel. A couple of years. And I've talked to them one-on-one, face-to-face. So, but just remember, no. So if you went to Meme's YouTube channel, you wouldn't be blue on his channel. And we all look at, on our YouTube channels, being blue is a privilege, not a right. Yeah, for a while, long time, since Mississippi, you know, since I was down in Mississippi. So yeah, we're thinking about going a cruise in March of next year. We're going to go to the Cayman Islands, I think, the Grand Turks and the Cayman Islands. Kind of expensive, so I'm going to have to start saving up my pennies for that. All right, Gabe, be safe. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. Bye, Gabe from Meme. So kind of working on that a little bit. We got another couple that's going to go with us. Once I get the cruise kind of figured out, I will tell everybody what cruise we're going on in case anybody else wants to book the cruise. So, never been to the Cayman Islands, you know, or St. Troy or St. Thomas, St. whatever, Bart's. Yeah, there's like 4 different locations we're going to. I'm not for sure. I know we're going to the Grand Caymans. We're going to the Eastern Caribbean. We've already been to the Western Caribbean. So we're going to go to Jamaica, I think. So there's really, or no, Puerto Rico or Jamaica. I don't know. So I don't remember. Later, Gabe. So we're working on that. We're going to go to Dallas, Texas this weekend. We leave Saturday morning. Our friend Jovan and his wife Michelle is going to babysit our dog Lily for us. We're going to drop her off at 7 a.m. and then we're going to drive to Dallas. We're going to go to a store called Daiso. It's a Japanese store. It's a chain. They have a whole bunch of them. I don't know, maybe 80 or so in America, I think. I don't go live so no one can get blue, but you can get blue on my party. Woohoo! I don't want people to be blue at my party. I want them to be happy. Happy, happy, happy. Sounds like fun, yes. Unless you're talking about taking the little blue pills. So, yeah, I'm sure. I don't know. Meme, I'll double check. I know they talked about you, and we'll make sure that Venus has your contact, your email. I'm not for sure. I'll have to ask Lorelai when she gets home tonight. It's very funny. So we're going to go to this Japanese gadget store. I found out the other day they're putting one about 15 miles from where I live late this summer, but we're going to go to Dallas and go to one. I like all of those weird Asian gadgets. I'm going to buy my brother something because we're going to go to Jollibee, the Filipino McDonald's, if you don't know what Jollibee is, and eat lunch. And then we got a busy day. We're going to my brother's house. We're going to go check out my niece's horse ranch. There's that bird. I got a niece as a professional horse trainer and barrel racer. So we're going to go check out them. And then we're going to rest, go fishing in the morning, and then probably drive home. So check out the blue pills. Viagra. You need Viagra? Is that the thing? The little blue pill. You know, that's funny. I like those commercials. I don't know if you guys remember those commercials about, was it Cialis? That said, if you have an erection for more than 4 hours, you may want to seek medical treatment. You think? So, we're going to go to Jollibee's in Dallas, in Plano, Texas. Have lunch. So, and then go over to the good thing is the way we're traveling, everything's in line, so I don't have any backtracking. You know, I get to the Japanese store first, and then I go to Jollibee, and I go to my brother's house. I'm really happy that I don't got to do a bunch of running around in Dallas. So, but we're going to have some Jollibee, you know, probably the Chicken Joy. And while you're there, you might as well, you know, partake. We're going to go fishing in the morning. So we got to get some work done this week. I got to get the fishing gear ready to go to Dallas. I got some presents coming in. I'm waiting for those to get here. So, you know, I've had a hard time with my lawn care service this year, and I'm really irritated, and I don't know what to do. You know, I'm really irritated with my lawn care people. I don't need Viagra right now. Ask me in about 30 years. Well, you know, just think of it as an accessory. Well, maybe one. I don't really, Henry. I don't like steak. I'm not a steak eater. You know, I'm just not. I like seafood, but I don't do steak, to be honest. And my brother's wife is vegan, so you know we'll probably have something simple. But for lunch, you know, and we'll take some snacks, but just in case there's no real food at the vegan house. But it'll be all right, you know. But we went to K-pop a couple weeks ago. If you don't know what K-pop is, K-pop? No, sorry. K-pot. P-O-T, as in like marijuana, pot. P-O-T. Korean pot, a hot pot. So, can't stand the smell of seafood. I like seafood. You know, I do. I like seafood. I like here's what I like. I like the taste of a really good steak. I like one or two bites, and that's it. I don't like eating really dense meat. So I don't like that, you know, but I love the taste of a really good steak. I just don't like it after a while. Yeah, this is K-Pot, which is a hot pot, this is a cool restaurant. I guess they got a big chain of them. And it's Korean food, of course. And all you can eat is why everybody wanted to go. So it's like $35 a head is what it was, which is a waste of food for me because I probably ate $4 worth of food, not, you know, but the others ate like $20,000 worth of food. So my wife and Giovanna Michelle went, and it was an interesting concept. The place was standing room only, packed. We had to wait an hour and 15 minutes to get seated. Is what our wait time was. Yeah, K-pop is the Korean music groups, which is really weird. I'm not into K-pop or the K movies that much. Some of the Korean movies are pretty good where they're killing each other and there's weird zombies and all kinds of other craziness going on. Those are pretty good. But the Korean love stories, not so much. If you're in the background, give us a thumbs up, everybody. Come forward and say hello. Tell us what you think about K-pop, Korean movies, that's Korean music, and or Korean food. We're talking about that at the moment. The action movies, yeah, they're kind of weird, right? It's kind of like you gotta watch some of these Korean movies and go, what in the hell were they thinking? Man, they come up with some wild and goofy stuff. Young Miss Bai is in the house. Hello, everybody say hello to Bai. Please say hello, good morning, and thank you for the thumbs uppers. So, but we had Korean or K-Pot. It's a beautiful restaurant, but it was packed to the gills. But you can have anything you want, any type of soup you want as a base, and then you throw your noodles and your vegetables and all your different meats. And I'm telling you, my wife and our two friends, they ate $20,000 worth of Korean food, and David ate $4 worth, so I guess it worked out. Yeah, K-pop is just kind of weird. Henry says, hello, sweetie. Filipina Bai says, hi. Hi, Henry. I'm not a fan of K-pop. Me either. I think it's weird. I don't like K-pop. I don't like that. But I do dig some of their weird movies. Like they have alien movies and ones about demons and, how all the high school kids get killed and, weird things. They got weird stuff, which is good. But I will admit, I absolutely love Korean food. It's one of the things. K-pop for Gen Z, and don't all the boys look like girls or the girls look like boys? You kind of can't tell them apart. They come across looking unisex, and okay, just kind of weird. Not my thing. Do like Korean food though. We did find another place. We were driving around the other day, and Lorelei spotted a sign that said Korean fried chicken. We haven't got there yet, but we're going to go eat there. Maybe I'll take her tomorrow for lunch. No, we can't go tomorrow. So we're going to go to this place that says it has Korean fried chicken. And I'm going to tell you, if you've never had Korean fried chicken, you don't know what you're missing. Something sticking me in my butt. So we love Korean fried chicken. It's better than American fried chicken. Hate to tell y'all. Like it. But we don't listen to K-pop. But it's a pretty restaurant. We didn't really take any videos or anything, I don't think. Maybe Lorelei put some on Facebook of them eating all this food. But, I mean, my goodness, you're talking about crazy. But it's a chain restaurant, I guess, now. But it was nice. We did that. That was a couple weekends ago. But other than that, I don't really like steak. I like to try it, but I only like a bite or two. I like the outside of the steak, where it's caramelized. I like that, but I don't like steak. We're having a big party July the 5th. Everybody's welcome, of course. 4 p.m. here at our house. We're cooking out. We're going to have grilled fish, Filipino style. We're going to make some ribs, some chicken, some hamburgers. I'm going to try out my new combination griddle pizza oven thing. So I got to go get another additional propane tank. I got to do that this week and just get one. And I'm sure we'll have pancit and you know, lumpia and all the traditional stuff. Somebody will probably make sticky rice and all of that. But we're going to have, it's our annual tropical shirt house party. So that's going to be the day after 4th of July. So kind of, Lorelai's excited about that. I think we got a lot of people coming, probably 30, 35. I might try to live stream it so you guys can all see. I'm sure young Miss Venice will be here. She always likes to come to our parties, so I'm sure she will be here. For all of you guys looking for a young single Filipina, I'm sure she'll be here. So, but we're excited about going this weekend. We are to Dallas. Lorelai was looking up, I think, shopping in Dallas, but I told her I don't think we're going to have time because we're going to leave here at 7 a.m. It's 4 hours and 15 minutes to get to the Japanese Daiso store, right? And then it's another 35 minutes from there to go to Jollibee, then another hour and a half drive to get to my brother's house outside of Dallas. There isn't a dish with puffy rice in it. No, Henry. I can't think of a Filipino dish. We use puffy rice a lot in Japanese sushi, and not inside, but as a crackle on the outside. But I can't think of a puffy rice. I mean, there's the Korean rice cakes. That's kind of like a puff rice. But I can't think of a Filipino dish. Maybe Bai knows. I can't think of one. Nobody. I've never seen a puffed rice. And of course, we will have a whole bunch of white rice. And, you know, we did that big party over the weekend. They had way too much food. I feel bad, you know, for people because we did the party out at the lake, if you guys saw, with all the girls in the bathing suits running around and all of you perverted men drooling. Yeah, I can't think of one, Henry, to be honest, in Filipino food. I can't think of a puffy rice. And there's fried rice, of course, but no, I just can't think of one. But we were at that big party this weekend, and I felt so bad because they made so much food, and not that many people came. And Lorelai and I were talking about it, and kind of like wondering why people didn't show up. And I told her, so what I know from Filipinas is this: one, they don't like to get hot, they don't like to be in the sun, and they don't like to drive very far. And the party was kind of far, and it was hot out at the lake. So a lot of the Filipino women are not going to show up. They like house parties. You saw the end of the party? Yes. Yeah, but I felt bad because they made it and so much food. And then, of course, you know, we all have talked about how Filipino women just pack the stuff up. But we don't take home food. If we do, we only take home a very little. But it sat out for 4 hours. We weren't going to take anything home. I don't take food that's been out room temperature. You know, I know from the Filipino standpoint, in the Philippines, it's not a big deal, right? But for me, and I've taught Lorelai not to do it because I don't want to accidentally eat it, I don't want to eat a hamburger patty that's been out for 4 hours, out in the sun. All right, Henry. I don't want to eat lumpia that's been outside for 4 hours. I just don't want to do any of that. I don't. One, I worry about the fly issue, the flies, but the room temperature, and it's more than room temperature. Hell, it was 88, 90 degrees, not 72 degrees. So even inside of a house at 72 degrees, I'm not a big fan of food that's been out on a countertop a long time. Fruit, not a big deal, all right? But meats, vegetable, you know, raw vegetables, okay. Meats, no. Things that have mayonnaise or mustard or ketchup or anything like that in there, absolutely not. I'm a huge, gigantic potato salad fan, but if I go to a party and the food and the potato salad's been out for more than about 30 minutes, I won't eat it. There's too much risk of getting sick, and I don't like that. So, oh man. Don't like it, don't like it at all. But they had a good party. They had a good time, which is all important. And that's what I told Lorelai. I said, as long as everybody had a good time that showed up, then that's all that really matters. It doesn't really matter any drama or anything else or who didn't show up. And we truly have a philosophy that, look, we invite you to a party. And if you want to show up to it, show up to it. If you don't, no sweat off our back. You know, a lot of times you'll get people going, well, you know, if I got time, and I always tell them, say, well, okay, I understand. You know, they say, well, so-and-so's also doing this, and I might have to go there. And say, well, I understand, then go do that. You know, I'm not begging you to come to our house. I'm not doing it. I'm not begging you to come here and eat food. I'm not doing it. If you want to come here, that's great. Here's your invite. And we love having people. But we're not going to beg you, convince you to come here. We're not. We don't do that. So we throw out the invitation and let it go where it's going to go. And I know in the Filipino community, a lot of the girls want to be begged to come. That way they can say, oh, they really want me to come. Oh, I feel special. You know, they worked really hard to get me to come. You know, they told me I didn't have to bring any food. I could just come for a few minutes. You know, oh, they really want me. I'm so special and popular. Yeah. Not the American style. And sadly, hey, there's Kelly. How are you? How are you, Kelly? How are you? Thank you for coming in. Thank you for the thumbs up. If you didn't give us one yet, please do. Kelly, what's going on in your world? How have you been? You know, tell us a little bit about what's happening. How do you feel today? You feeling good today? I feel okay today. I feel tired. I've been busy. We got a breeze blowing now, so I'm really happy about that. I'm a little bit out of shape at my lawn mowing service. I kind of fired one and hired another one, and I told them never come before 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so come in the evenings. And he showed up at 8:30 in the morning this morning. So I got to send him a message tomorrow telling him, don't come back. And the other one came asking if they could start mowing again. So I'm going to message him tomorrow and tell him to come mow next week. So, and see how that goes. I'm not having good luck with people mowing my yard this year. And I can't physically do it. I mean, if I had a riding lawnmower like a zero turn, I probably could. It might take me 2 days, but I could probably get it done. But I think it's really weird how much trouble I'm having getting the people to mow my yard consistently the way I want it at the time I want it. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong this year. I don't know, man. But it's exciting. I'm looking forward to going to Dallas. I think we're going to plan another trip somewhere later in the year. I just don't know when and where or anything like that yet. But I'm thinking about it. Kelly says, okay, I am curious. I just watched Jeff Ron's deposition again. That guy's an idiot. He makes me ill. Other than the hot here in Florida, happy to have celebrated my oldest grandchildren's. Wow. First, let me say congratulations to the grandchild. Now, the only thing I can say is that means you're getting older. If your grandchildren are getting older, when you're already old because you have grandkids. So just to throw that out there. But Kelly, let me tell you this. I am, look, and I was in Waveland, Mississippi the week that Jeffrey Gray was down there doing his video when they did this to him, the original, you know. I was there. I didn't know Jeff was there. I don't know Jeff. Actually, believe it or not, I know he's got a gigantic channel, and the armed fishermen have gigantic channels, and they both has messaged me before. So very kind of them to do that. People having big channels, and I mean real message, not just responded to a comment. So, but what I'll say is I was there. Furious, did I say that? Yeah. Oh. I was there that week. And when I got back home, I saw that out and I went, oh, shit. Because we were really considering buying a home there. And now there'd be no way in hell. So, but watching that, how, you know, you got to ask yourself this, and let's talk about this. If this guy believes that this was the professional way to conduct himself in a legal proceeding, what else does he do? What else does he do when nobody's watching? I mean, people need to really think about this. If he has so much disdain and contempt to behave this way in a legal proceeding, what's he doing when nobody's watching? I got a feeling he's a very nasty, violent bully of a guy. You know, I really believe you can just see it. You know, some of us are old and we've been up and down many roads and dealt with many different people over the years. And I don't know how many students I ran across in my lifetime as a college teacher, right? And professors. So I've been around a lot of people in my life. And for him to behave that way in a legal proceeding, it's crazy. Sorry, yeah, I got you. I agree. He needs to be decertified. I don't know how to get him in front of the Mississippi Decertification Board. I got a feeling maybe a lot of people is asking the same question, maybe contacting the Mississippi, you know, whatever it is. I don't know what theirs is called, like the Mississippi Fraternal Order of Policing or something. But he needs to be decertified. The arrogant, you know, it's just like, really? A smart guy would have said nothing. He knows that he was wrong. He knows what it was. This is a classic example of policing by bullying. And this is, and I can fix law enforcement in America. I got a system where I can fix it. And I know what's wrong with America. I mean, policing in America. I know what's wrong. I really do. I know what's wrong and I know how to fix it. Nobody will ever let me or hear me, but I know how. But what he's doing is policing by bullying. That's what they do, and that's the problem. He thinks he can bully, bluff, lie, intimidate you to deal with somebody else's feelings. Yep, plead the fifth. Yep, too damn arrogant. That's correct. To just say, I plead the fifth. I agree. It blew my mind away. I've never seen anybody, I mean, and you can tell that it's the arrogance overriding his own logic and common sense. Common sense tells you, oh crap, I know I've done wrong because it's been a year since I did this. And he even says at one point, well, he got death threats. So he must have known that people was pointed out how wrong he was. But to sit there and do what he did repeatedly, over and over, the best, I mean, look, he made the case easy. He made it so easy that the city of Waveland's going to have to, and I hope Jeff doesn't settle for $1,776 like he's done before. I hope he makes Waveland pay out the nose. And as a condition of it, I hope they have to terminate the officer. So I hope Jeffrey Gray doesn't take the easy way out on this one, because this is really bad. But you can just, you know, man, I don't know. A normal person would have shut it up and said, I have nothing to say. You know, I have to take the fifth on this. But he just cost his city a shitload of money and made himself look horrible. HTRN Henry says he was one of the cops that was covering up for a fellow officer that was a drug addict. And I was the one of the few people that busted after the officer who was a drug addict. Wow, and got busted after that? Damn. You know that he's had to violate people's rights because he came out of the car being a bully. Policing by bullying. Boom. First thing out of the car. First thing. That's his go-to thing. I'm going to bully you to do what I want you to do, whether it's legal or not. Doesn't matter. I'm going to take your rights away. And so, you know, he needs to be decertified, of course, fired. He needs to be permanently decertified. And he needs to be in a situation where he can't become a gypsy cop, where he can't just move on to another police department, that he can't move to another state and go through training and blah, 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 and get hired again. Kelly says, yep, and do what he did. I bet he won't act like that in front of a judge. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think he is terminated, but crap runs downhill and uphill. I agree. The chief investigator and the mayor also, I agree. Why would they allow him to do this? And look, why would his attorney should have spoke for him and said, we plead the fifth, we plead the fifth, we plead the fifth. Why would his attorney let him do this? Why would his chief of police not tell him, shut your mouth? Because they all got to know how he is, right? If you spend 30 minutes with him, you're going to know how he is. Why would they let him set himself up like this and make the city look so bad? Wavelands are really nice city, but the police there are absolutely the worst I've ever seen. Of all the places I've been to, it's one of them. I agree. I've been to a lot of places, so Henry, as you know, I mean it. I mean, do they not have any common sense and logic? That's what's disturbing about this. Where the hell is the common sense? Where's the logic? He doesn't have any. Doesn't have any. And shame on all of them for letting him do this and be this way. And this isn't the first complaint he's ever got. If it is, it's because everybody's too damn scared of him. And I think people need to go back and really take a hard look at him. They also need to take a look at all the other officers. Because did anybody stop him? No, nobody stopped him. Nobody corrected him, did they? They're like, yeah, go for it, buddy. Woo-hoo. We're going to police by bullying. That's correct. The townspeople are going to pay. I agree. The suit, well, he should lose qualified immunity. And this is kind of where I'm at with a lot of that. I think qualified immunity ought to be stripped, not only from police officers. I believe this, because, you know, I taught college forever. I was a state employee. I don't think school teachers should have qualified immunity. I don't think school administrators, schools shouldn't have it. I don't think government agencies should have it. I don't think there should be qualified immunity for anybody. I don't know why, because I ran into something a couple of weeks ago, and I clicked on it and started studying on about how many children in America are being hurt, sometimes suicide, sometimes, I mean, violently beaten. The schools do nothing to protect them, but they get qualified immunity from lawsuits. So very sad. You got to end it. It's stupid. It's not right for anybody. So, and I'm a firm believer that every country needs law enforcement. They do. I don't believe that law enforcement should focus on so many petty little bullshit things. I don't. I know it's the way they generate revenue, but I don't like that. You know, I don't like it when you're being stopped and given a ticket because you didn't come to a complete stop at a stop sign. Petty shit should not be penalized. Now they do whatever they want there. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. Well, they won't here soon. You know, if there's a bigger civil rights investigation that's going to happen, and if more of this dirt comes uncovered, you know, the FBI may step in and do an investigation, or the Department of Justice, somebody else bigger. And that's the other thing that I hate. I can't believe that it's acceptable in this day and age to say, hey, we're going to investigate ourselves and we found no wrongdoing. I think that system's broke. And look, and I know and have known a lot of police officers, and I've been really close friends with some. So I get that the job can be difficult, taxing, and stressful. I get it. But you can't have, you know, look, if I'm going to go rob a bank with 10 other guys, you can't have the 10 other guys investigate whether I did anything wrong or not, right? You can't have them do that. You can't have bank robbers look at me and go, no, you didn't rob a bank, you know. So I kind of look at it that way. And see, these civilian review boards don't work because these people are appointed by the police. So they're friends of the police. So they're on the police side. Somehow there has to be an independent review of these actions. And no longer can a law enforcement agency, there's a couple things they do. Say we've investigated ourselves and we found no wrongdoing. Or they tie it up for so long that they're trying to pass the date of lawsuit. In some areas, you know, you got to sue within 2 years, right? So they want to drag out any decision about Officer Jeffron for as long as they can do it, right? In hopes that that's going to mess up the lawsuit, the future suit. I just don't know, and I think the police, the law enforcement world would be so much better if they would just simply say, whoops, you know, I was wrong. Mr. Gray, you're absolutely right. I screwed the pooch. You can be there. I had no right to threaten you with arrest or demand ID. I apologize. We are going to be retrained, re-educated, and do better in the future. People make mistakes, but this is the difference. We're law enforcement. If they are corrupt, then how can they enforce the laws? If they can't follow the law, if they can't do what's right, and they need to be held to a higher standard. Look, we're just average Joes. They need to be the leader, the role model, not the criminal, not the crappy one trying to trick everybody and trying to lie and try to bully, police by bullying. You know, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, maybe the board would be made up of 3 prosecutors, 3 defense lawyers, and 3 civil rights lawyers. Yeah? And I just know it shouldn't be done by, I agree. Not even close to being done by themselves. And it needs to be done in public. It doesn't need to be a top secret affair. Because I look at it this way from that perspective. I got a lot of thoughts on this, but you're violating rights, or you're being accused of violating rights, which is for me, a public issue. So it shouldn't be held behind closed doors and top secret. I know, right? I'm not a lawyer, I'm just a law enforcement officer. And I kept thinking, then how dare you accuse somebody of breaking the law? And the panhandling law was revoked 5 years before, plus it's free speech. But I'm with you there. I'm just like, and that's where I looked at, okay, you're not enforcing any laws because you don't know what the laws are, or you don't. I take that back. I think he knows. He doesn't care because he's going to bully by policing, or police by bullying. He's going to police by bullying. And so he doesn't care what the law is. He doesn't care at all. Thing that gets me is when they say we're taking your money to protect your life. Yes, yeah, yeah, I agree. There's a video released today on YouTube. I don't know if you guys have all seen it yet, but some black guy sitting in his car had his civil rights violated again. You know, they put him in handcuffs and ID'd him the whole 9 yards, and then the officer called back to his sergeant or somebody, and they kind of went, "Oops, you need to let him go because he didn't do anything wrong. What was your probable cause?" "I didn't have any." "Well, that's not probable cause, blah, 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 blah." So there's another big lawsuit going to come. And all the other cops just stood around like, duh, duh. I don't understand why there's not a smart cop on these police forces that has the balls to step in and say, "Hey, come here. What was your PC?" "Oh, no, that doesn't work for PC. We can't do this. No, 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 no. We need to let him go. We can't do this." I don't know why. Are they too chicken shit to stand up? They're not, they're brave enough to go beat people up. They're brave enough to run them off the road. They're brave enough to drag them out of their cars and bust their windows. But they're not brave enough to stand up and say, "Wait a minute. We need to make sure that their rights weren't violated." Instead, they have the mentality, we don't give a F if we violate their rights. We'll let that figured out in court. Today, we're going to pull them over. We're going to beat them. We're going to throw them in jail. And we'll let the courts figure out whether we did anything wrong or right. They know they're going to get off. Yep, and that's what I try to do. I know I don't have a big channel, but like I said, I've had a little bit of contact with the armed fishermen and Jeff over the last few years. They talked to me about when I did the first Waveland video, and I appreciated that. So, not that I know them, but I felt like if I could help a little bit, get one or two people to see it that normally wouldn't see it, that'd be a good thing. You watched it before they came on the live? Yeah. On our live here. It's just crazy to me. And it reminds me, I don't know if you guys know who Long Island Audit is, right? You know, Sean Paul Reyes. Well, it reminds me of a few years ago when I think he was in Danford, Connecticut, or Danbury, Connecticut. And he caught that cop on video and audio saying a few years ago he would have been on the ground with his teeth kicked in for speaking to me the way he did. Yeah, the one in the car today, that's right, that one. That one. Isn't that crazy? You saw that. I mean, just crazy. But this guy in Waveland's the same damn way. He would have beat the living snot shit out of Jeffrey Gray if he could have. You could just see it in him. And it's kind of like the mentality is so screwed up. And I'll tell you about what I think is wrong with law enforcement. I think it's the police academy. I think the police academies are teaching the wrong things. They're teaching the wrong things. One, they're not long enough. They should be, and I almost kind of think a police officer should not be able to arrest anybody until he's completed 1 year of supervised training on the job. So he can't make any arrest. Two, but I think the police academies, what they do is they get you all jacked up. It's kind of like going to the Marines. You know, when you come out of the police academy, you're so jacked up that you think every American is an enemy. You think the public is an enemy. And the public's not the enemy. They're here to serve us, but they're not taught that. They're taught, they come out of this thinking, I'm a badass. I'm a badass. I'm the law enforcement. I am the law. You know, that's how they come out of the academy, thinking you and I are the enemies. Edgewater Officer Rippin, okay. It's only second to Chevron, but very violent. Yeah. I mean, why are they teaching them to think we are the enemy? No, we're not the enemy. But I've had friends, officer friends, who've come out of the police academy, and I've seen them right after they graduated, you know, thinking they're Billy Badass. You know, they're going to take it to the max. You know, it's kind of like, you know, when I watch, military movies, you know, we are the brave, we are, you know, what do I do with this rifle? I kill the Marine stuff. I'm not a Marine, I've never been in the service, but, you know, the whole, hey, you know, I am here to kill mentality. Correct. But they're not taught that anymore. They're not taught protect and serve. The other thing they're taught is to be scared. In the police academy, they're taught repeatedly how dangerous it is to be a cop. You know, how you always got to watch your back. Well, if you would change the culture of policing, you wouldn't have to watch your back, right? If you did the right things, you wouldn't have to watch your back. Now, there's always bad apples everywhere on both sides of the coin. But what they're doing in the police academies is not helping. And the other problem is all the old-time cops that are teaching this bullshit. They're also training officers who, when a young rookie comes out, maybe the police academy in some state did a pretty good job. Maybe that one's a good one. But that training officer is going to get that young person in their car going, forget every goddamn thing you learned in the academy. Here's how it really is. You pull your gun and you do this and you can do this because they're going to kill you otherwise. Every black person's bad, you know. You got to, you know, wrong mentality. They need to go. They need to be forced to retire. And look, I know there's a lot of arguments about going, oh my God, we have a lot of police officers who's quitting policing. Good. If you can't do it right, if you're so scared as a cop, don't be a cop. Two, if you're so scared that you're going to be caught on video doing something wrong, then you don't need to be a cop, right? That's what they do now, because I got a friend now, he's telling me, he said, yeah, we're all scared to death that somebody's going to take a video of us doing something bad. I'm like, well, then don't do anything bad. He's like, well, I know, but, you know, and I'm like, no, just don't do anything bad. And who gives a shit what the video shows? You know? Levy County and Okeechobee, Florida, yep. By good old people. Yeah, I know. I've seen a lot of that. Isn't that where Warren Sapp and the armed fishermen and some others are having big issues down there? The NFL football player Warren Sapp, because I know he's all over the internet now going, you know, you people violated my rights. I'm suing you for $20 million. And he's trying to get records and all that down in Okeechobee. I think that's where he got arrested while he's driving his Lamborghini, you know, at the gas station and got out and asked questions because somebody else got pulled over. Well, the women always say they don't know anything about the law, but yet they're the ones that are enforcing them, so they shouldn't be police officers. I agree. I really think they should learn the law before they become a police officer. They should end the ability to turn mic. I agree. They should not ever, ever be able to mute a mic or a camera. Never. And it should never, ever not be, what's that word? Didactic? No, it should never be didactic at all. They just won't make them have them anymore. Yeah, I agree. Yes. Okeechobee is where he started with Warren Sapp. Yes. Redacted. Thank you. Yeah, that shouldn't be allowed either. There should never be a private conversation that can't. Now look, I get if they're interviewing or talking to a minor child that's been SA'd or beaten up, all right. Get it? Got it. Okay, the courts can say, now wait a minute. This is a juvenile case. But when it comes to adults, it should never be turned off. They shouldn't be allowed to have private conversations. They shouldn't be allowed. But it's disgusting. And Henry, I don't disagree about the law, but I don't think the law is the issue. It's not the fact it is. They don't know the law, but they don't care about the law. What they should be taught is how to protect and serve. They need to be taught customer service skills. I taught college students all the time how to be professional. When I would have students who was getting ready to enter the workforce, I could sit down with them and say, now look, you're going for job interviews. Here's how you dress. Here's how you behave. Here's your mannerisms. Here's how you address people. They need the very, very, very basics of how to interact with people is what they need to be taught. Customer service 101. What started me was this kick on the First Amendment orders was my run in the whole Orange County Sheriff's. Yeah, Orange County's not a good thing. So you had a run-in with the Orange County. Gonna have fun with the Orange County people. So that's where I think they miss. They miss the whole freaking customer service thing. Absolutely, how to be professional. That should be hammered in harder than, hey, you're a Billy Badass, go kick their ass. Come on, yeah, rah, 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 rah. We don't need police officers to be trained like military. We are militarizing, we're turning the police department to think they're jarheads, that they're military, they're Marines, they're the best, we're the Army, we're the police force, goddammit, we're gonna kill you all because, I think we're just screwing up with how we handle law enforcement in America. And I truly believe it could be easily fixed. I really do. Change the curriculum, change the tone, change the objectives of the police academies. Change that, and everything else would change. It will get better. My children were put in a situation that wasn't any fault of mine or theirs. Sheriff held me at the scene after alleging that line to get your kids, gave me over and yeah. And who the hell are these people to lecture us, right? Don't give me a lecture. If you didn't have the badge on, I would whoop your ass and I would give you a lecture. My education level is way in the hell higher than yours. I'm up and down the block a lot more than you ever thought. So what gives you the right to think, because you have a 10-star, you have the right to lecture people? You don't. You don't have a right to give orders, Oh, they're a gang. It's a blue light gang. They will. They're truly a gang. And you see that all over. And I don't like the blue line flag thing. I'm a big believer that they're violating the Flag Act. And I hate that. I know a lot of police departments now, what they've done to get around violating the U.S. Flag Act is they've taken the stars off of it and just made it all bars. So now it doesn't look like an American flag, the black, white, and blue flag. So now it doesn't have the stars on it, so therefore they're not violating the act. But it means the same damn thing. Wasn't in there, held my ID for hostage, so I couldn't leave without it, or they would have charged me for driving I agree. I agree, you know. That's why one of the key things says, don't even give me your ID. Don't answer questions. You know, don't answer questions. Where are you going? None of your business. You know, down the road. Where are you coming? Up the road. You know, don't ask questions. They're fishing. Don't give them any bait. A lot of people talk too much when they interact with police officers. They just do. And people need to learn to shut up, not say anything. Yes, no, 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 no. I don't answer those type of questions. I have no answer. You know, no. And look, one of the biggest things a lot of people get in trouble with is, do you know how fast you were going? Well, yeah, no. Did you know you were speeding? They always say, well, yeah. And I say, no, I wasn't speeding. Deny it. You know? I had to give them the ID to prove that I was the kid's mother. I know, it's crazy, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. What? I don't understand it. I don't like it. I don't believe it. But it's easily fixable. It really is. It's easily fixable. But you got to get this, hey, everybody's the enemy against us, the police. You got to get that out of their heads. It's not the way it is. But my advice to people is never answer questions. You know, speak as little as possible. And if you're going to be arrested, shut your mouth and don't say another damn word. Period. You know, I just don't understand why people make it worse for themselves. Because bullies, they're bullies. They thrive on this. They're bullies, and so you can't feed into them their power and their ego trip. But the only thing I can say, I think, is it's really good that in today's age, right, everybody, that all these cameras around, we got cameras on our phones, we got cameras everywhere. So, and we got so many people pulling over and video recording things. Henry says, well, I have learned from a judge friend that license is not required to drive. We have the right to travel without one. Well, yeah, maybe. I know there's a lot of, what do they call those people? Sovereign citizens, right? That think that they don't answer to the government. Now, but you have a right to travel, but depending on the road, you may not have the right to be on the road without a state issue ID or a license. So you have the right to travel, but you don't necessarily have a right to be on the interstate without a license, because that's part of the requirement, because you don't own that. It's not like it's public land that you're going up and down. You see what I mean? So there's some gray and weird, tricky areas that I've seen over the years with some of that. I like how people say the police officers are the most sovereign citizens that we have, because they get away with anything and they don't do anything wrong. You know, it just, we all have to do better holding good cops out there for people to see and putting the bad cops on blast. Everybody, sovereign citizens, they are, right? They have more authority and power and can get away with anything than we do. Look at it when they get themselves in trouble, how they all cover for each other. They lie, they cheat, they steal. I think there's so many corrupt police officers, it's unbelievable. Part of the big problem is gypsies officers. I don't know if you guys know what that is. The term gypsy officer is when one officer kind of causes trouble in one city, like maybe he's in Okeechobee. Well, maybe that, oh no, I'm getting in trouble. They're going to force an investigation on me. Instead of my own police department looking into me, I'm going to go ahead and quit, and I'm going to go over to St. Lucie, Florida, and be a police officer there. And I'm going to leave technically on good terms because my police department didn't render a finding against me. So I'm going to go down to St. Lucie, St. Port Lucie, I think it's called. I'm going to go over there. Then I'm going to do it again. And before I get technically anything on paper, I'm going to go work for Cocoa Beach, gypsy officers. And that shouldn't be allowed. The driver's license was for people who work out of their vehicles. Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, the DAs too. The DAs are the worst. They need to quit. They're so quick. They're so quick to drop charges against officers, but they will move hell and high water to get simple convictions for minor bullshit. And the balance isn't there, right? All the effort and the money they're putting. I saw, I can't remember his name. There's a judge in Texas that's all over YouTube. He wears the bow tie. I don't know his name. He wears the bow tie. He's on YouTube a lot. He's out of Houston, Texas, Harris County, Texas. And I like the fact that he's actually told the DAs, you people need to get your shit together. Why are you doing this? You have no problem. Yeah, that's him. That's right. The cops wrote horrible reports. There is no probable cause. What, you can't just shake somebody's hand today? What is it, being black? Walking being black? Whatever it may be. But the one I liked, and I'm pretty sure it was this judge, I think it was, when Walmart, and we live around the home of Walmart. So Walmart's gotten in this bad habit, and this is partly why they're changing some things, of prosecuting people who accidentally stole something from the self checkout. So if I'm checking out at the self register and this doesn't ring up and I don't notice it or catch it, I take it home, right? So Walmart keeps track of that. Now, when they get 5 or 6 things or times that I may have done this, or even one, depending on the dollar amount, they will go to the DA's office and press charges against me for stealing that. They go to the DA's office and they make the DA do all of the work. The DA spends all the money to investigate, to prosecute, because I stole a bottle of water from Walmart. So what he was talking about was we are no longer going to be doing the bidding for Walmart because it costs the state 10 times, 20 times the amount for the state than it does Walmart losing a stinking bottle or a TV or whatever it may be. And so there's been a pushback, and that's partly why Walmart went from self checkouts back to registers with people in it. Because courts have started pushing back, going, wait a minute, we're not your bitch. But DAs will move mountains for the little stupidest crap because they want a conviction. Why do we want people to be guilty? Why do we want people to be bad? I don't understand that. Why do we have such of a desire in America to prove or to make people look bad? That's what I don't understand. Why do we have such of a gigantic motivation and drive to say, hey, we see a flaw in you and we're going to point it out and we're going to make you pay out the nose for it? So now that water costs the state thousands instead of the value of that's correct. That's what the judge was saying. I can't remember. It may have been in Minnesota. I'm not for sure. But he was pissed, and he did it. He's like, somebody stole a $20 item at Walmart, and we just spent $8,000 to bring them to court. Because not only is the prosecuting attorney has time, the DA, the public defender, which the government's paying, all for a stinking bottle of water, or whatever it is. So, a great analogy, great point. I did ask how you were feeling earlier. How are you feeling? I did ask how you were feeling. How are you feeling? Uh, so sometimes I get on these rants, but that's okay. I get on these rants. I just think law enforcement's easy to fix, but they don't want to fix themselves. They don't want to do better. Because here's the thing. Anytime you say, hey, we have something that we need to fix, what does that mean? It means you were wrong, right? It means I was wrong. Say, well, I really need to fix my behavior. Well, that means my behavior was bad to start with. I really need to change how we do business. Well, that means the way I was doing business was bad. And from their psychology, they think it opens them up to lawsuits, to pointing out the fact. I'm glad you shared the video. Yes, Jeff Gray video also did a lot of people watching Long Island. I love Sean Paul Reyes. So yeah, live with his lawyer reviewing. Yeah, I saw a little bit of that too. Just a little bit. Well, you could drink the water in Otter Creek, Florida. Yeah, if you want to die. Otter Creek, Florida is another one. And I haven't followed that idiot. I haven't followed because I got sick of it. But I'm going to tell you, when it comes to, I think it was Jeremy. His name is Jeremy. I think he's moved out of Otter Creek. I think he's gone. I think he sold his property and said, hey, I came down here and screwed you all up and made you look like shit, and I made a bunch of money, and now I'm going to leave. Thank you. So, and do not drink the water. Yeah, at Otter Creek, I know. So I don't think he's there anymore. I don't think he's there. So it's like, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to shit all over the place, and then I'm going to leave. I'm going to tell you this, and I don't care if anybody likes it or not. There's something really wrong with that Jeremy guy. If you pay attention to him, and I did, and I back studied him, he's always having a problem with somebody. He's always in a disagreement or a fight with somebody. But yet, he's one of the most godly men on the planet. There is something wrong, and I know he's making a shitload of money from it, and God bless him for that, so to speak, right? But there's something wrong with that boy, because he fights with everybody. We wasted so much money on the dumbest things now that it's even, I agree. I mean, it's just crazy. And everybody in Otter Creek still hates each other, right? Everybody's still fighting with each other. It's, yeah. So that poor town, now granted, it was corrupt, it was ran wrong. People were taking advantage of their situation, without question, just like every other small town in the world, and it needed to be fixed, but man, he did a lot of damage to a lot of people is all I can say. And there's one video clip of him when somebody accidentally parked on that school parking lot, because he bought that old school. And apparently somebody didn't know there was a new owner, because in the past he was always allowed to park his car there while his wife went shopping or some shit. And Jeremy flips his freaking lid at this old guy about, don't you touch me, I mean, just crazy. I don't understand. But he made a lot of money, so, more power to him. I like First Amendment auditors, and I said this in my video, and I wish more people, and don't get me wrong, Kelly and Henry, I need more subscribers. I know that. I'm not a very big channel. Don't make any money at this. I wish I did, but I don't. But I like doing it. But what I'll say about how I started watching the First Amendment auditors, and some of them are really bad. Some of them are bad. But I started watching them because when I did YouTube, I wanted to go out in public and video record. And watching a lot of these guys, Now, I video record differently than they do, obviously. I don't stress test the First Amendment. I just go out in public and record. But I know what I can and cannot do, and I'm not going to put up with any shit from anybody if I get any. And I've been blessed and lucky enough when I've been filming in public, I've never had a negative word. I've had positive. I've had people come up and go, "Hey, are you live on YouTube or TikTok? What are you doing?" I go, I'm like, "Oh, cool. I got a channel. Blah blah blah." How am I? You know, I've had nothing but good shit. So I've been lucky in that standpoint. All right, Henry, appreciate you. Stay safe. I hope everything gets better for you. And don't stress over the family issues, you know. No reason to stress over those. And yeah, I got to get off of here at 7 myself, Henry, so don't worry. That's why I started early today. I'll probably go late tomorrow, but I was early today. I need to get some more stuff done around the house. So it's just a quick pop-up. But that's why I enjoy the First Amendment auditors, because I do think a lot of them do it the wrong way. I think, like, one of the ones I like the best, and I think he's probably one of the most controversial, is the guy that's called the Legend of the Potato, Zoe Prez, or the Furry Potato. It blows my mind away how many people attack him or her, I don't know what they are, while they're recording just because he won't say anything. So you're in public and you're video recording and you're not bothering anybody, you're not saying anything to anybody, and people will attack you for it. The police will come and arrest you for it. It just blows my mind. It just truly does. And I don't understand. But, you know, it's all right. It's all right. So, but I try to keep up with that stuff. I try to find out what's going on. I try to learn from it, you know. But then again, I don't stand out in front of post offices I've recorded in our post office, but that's because I had a package. I took a package in, dropped it off. I had my body cam on, my GoPro, which I need to sell because I hate it. Because I was out fishing one day and I left it recording, didn't even know it. So, but I haven't intentionally gone and done that because it's not my thing. Plus, physically, I just can't go do that. You know, my body's too beat up. I need to buy a new mobility scooter. You know, it's one thing I got to do is I got to get another mobility scooter really bad. But, you know, you're talking about a lot of money, so it's not in the budget. So I don't get out a lot anyway. If I couldn't physically go do that type of work that they do. But I think it's great that they do it. And I think it's important that they do it. And I encourage them all to do it. Some of them I don't really care for. I don't like how they do it. I don't like how they antagonize. But nobody should be harassed for minding their own business in public. Nobody should be harassed for doing what they want to do in public. Why can't we learn to leave people leave people alone? You know, and police have to learn this. And this is one of the biggest things police don't understand. They should only arrest people when there's a serious crime going on. You know, when there's physical interference. You know, because Warren Sapp is there running and asking and saying, "Hey, why are you arresting my friend?" You know, is not interference. If Warren Sapp went up there and put his hand on the cop and moved him aside and say, "Why are you arresting?" That's interference. You know, are cops so thin-skinned that they can't handle criticism? They can't handle somebody asking them questions? They can't handle people speaking to them? They're so thin-skinned? Hey, Gus, good evening, buddy. How are you? How's Georgia? Hot? We're in the low 90s here. Little breeze. So, yes, they are. Right, Gus? They're too sensitive. They're crybabies. But part of that comes from that mentality when they come out of the police force thinking that they're God and that we, the citizens, are their enemy. The police academy are teaching law enforcement that the citizens are the enemy, and that's not the case. And that has to change before anything else can change, before it can get better. Nice and hot, I bet. Bet you. I bet, man. So. staying indoors, staying healthy, all of that good stuff. I like the heat, so I sit outdoors a lot in the heat. Lorelai hates it and goes inside. Until the mosquitoes get me at night, I stay indoors. They are trained to lie. I call it policing by bullying. They're trained to lie, they're trained to deceive, they're trained to bully. They're literally taught in the academy. You go up there and you tell them whatever you got to tell them to resolve the problem as quick as possible. It's like we were talking about the Jeffrey Gray thing. So Jeffron wanted to go bully him, thinking I can bully him and get him out of here, and I made that person at City House feel comfortable again. I made the City Hall worker feel better because I ran this guy off. And they shouldn't be allowed to lie. Or we should be able to lie all we want. It's just not right. And I know in some areas that I know some states have changed things that when you get stopped now, police officers can't come up to you and ask, do you know why I stopped you? They can't do that. They have to tell you why they stopped you. Yeah, I like Jeff Gray too. I think he's a good guy. I like it when he goes to these rich neighborhoods by where he lives, and the rich people want him moved out of here. I want that homeless guy out of here. How pathetic do you have? I would love to live in a house like they live in. But they're so arrogant and full of crap that they're going to try to run what they think is a homeless guy off. Birthday cake, that's right. Woohoo, grandson's 14th birthday. Well, enjoy a piece of cake for me because I don't have any cake at home and I'm on a diet. So I appreciate you, Kelly, really do. Thank you for coming in and please keep coming back. Yeah, don't answer questions. Don't do it. I'm not going to do it. Don't answer. You know, here's my driver's license, here's my insurance, here's my whatever, but I don't answer questions. Where I came from, where I'm going, where I work is none of your business. And it's not. It's not none of their business. Where I came from, what I was doing. It's not. It's not. So I'm a big believer in that too, Gus. I really am. But the problem is we have all these people that are trained to think that we are the enemy. So they're going to treat us like the enemy. They're going to lie to us, try to manipulate the situation. No, I saw you doing this. They lie so much where I saw one today, one of them was saying, they come out and say, well, the bank said that you were inside. I've never been inside your bed. This happens all the time when you see these ones when they come out and say, well, don't trespass there again. Well, you know, I've never been inside their business. I've never been on their property. So how can I been, well, they said you were, well, did you verify that? I don't have to verify it. It's not my problem. I'm just telling you, don't ever go on their property again. Well, kiss my ass. That's right. I came from down the street and I'm going up the street. And I came from up the street and going down the street. I'm going that way. My car is, here, let me look at the thing. I'm pointed west. I'm going west. Where are you going? West? See the W on my thingy? Never answer, never admit anything. They come and say, well, do you know you were speeding? What? Speeding? You got to be crazy, man. I wasn't speeding. Do you know how fast you were going? Yes, I was going 3 miles per hour below the speed limit. I was doing the speed limit. Tim is in the house. Hey, Tim, hello. How are you, buddy? How's the Philippines? How are you feeling? You feel any better? You get your TV and all that stuff back on, the internet and all that? We're doing pretty good here. It's a little warm. Gus and I are in America. It's nice and warm here. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way, when you came in. I worked on trying to get a cruise picked out that I think we're going to try to take in the spring. So I worked on that today, and I got a bunch of other things I'm working on. Trying to get some things sold that we don't need. I do a lot of product reviews. I don't know if you guys know this, but I do a lot of product reviews. So I'm trying to get those on the market to get that crap out of my house. I've been stacking it up for about 2 years. That's right. I love Sergeant Schultz. I know nothing. It was a good show. Funny show. Colonel Klink. But yeah, never admit to anything, never agree to anything, never, never, never. You know, it just, but, but we, the people, have to hold these bad officers and bad cities and bad police departments and bad governments accountable. We just do. We can't let Waveland, Mississippi get away with what they did. We can't do it. We can't let Okeechobee get away with what they did to Warren Sapp. You know, I can't remember that guy out of Miami, the football player, right before the Miami football game, driving his Lamborghini. You know, they're going to drag him out of his car and beat him. You know, I think he was a running back. I can't remember his name. Internet's back. Cable TV, no bueno. All right. Is bueno good or... My wife keeps trying to trick me. Bueno means good, right? So no bueno means bad. So wouldn't bueno mean just good? She's trying to tell me it means okay, like you agree with somebody. I'm like, I think you're lying to me. But that's all I've been doing. We're going to go to Texas this weekend. We leave Saturday morning early. We're going to go to a Japanese store, gadget store called Daiso. We're dropping our dog Lily off at our friend Giovan's and Michelle's that live close to us. So they're going to watch Lily for us, which is going to be hard on Lily because Lily is still very depressed. So am I. But Lily's really depressed because Daisy's not here anymore. You can tell there's not things right with her. So it'll be hard for her. But they know Giovanna and Michelle pretty well. So we're going to go eat at Jollibee. For all of you people that know what Jollibee is, go to Jollibee. And then we're going to go from Jollibee to my brother's house, hang out. We're going to go see my niece's horse ranch. Ah, good. My glasses are ready at LensCrafters. So go get them tomorrow. So we're going to go to my niece's horse ranch. She's a professional horse trainer, and she races barrels. A very popular horse trainer. So we're going to go check out the horses. And we're going to try to make some videos, do some live streams. Then Sunday morning, we're going to get up early and go fishing with my whole crew, everybody, the whole family. We rented a big pontoon boat. I don't know how much fishing we're going to get in with a boat full of people, but we're going to go fishing. And then we'll probably head home after that, probably 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon Sunday. So we're not going to be out too long. When Sergeant Seld said he knew nothing, he always placed his hand on his chest over his Star of David pendant. Oh, I didn't notice that. I didn't put 2 and 2 together on that one, Tim. I never noticed that. I can watch this show. And I guess maybe I remember him wearing something, but I guess I never looked close enough. I always thought that was kind of, maybe it was a Star of David. I always thought it was like just a German, a Nazi medal or something. So I never really paid a lot of attention to that. But I'm going to have to go back and look look at that in the show. Because we watched the reruns on MeTV some. But it was a good show. It was a funny show. I guess, what was the other guy's name? Robert Alden? Was that the lead? Robert Alden or something like that? I guess he died in a very weird and messy situation in a hotel room. I think that was his name, right? Robert Alden? Something like that. So yeah, we're excited about this weekend. We're going to do a little out of the town thing. We're going to go to, I like kitchen gadgets. Me and my Panama Jack hat, we like Japanese gadgets. And so this Daiso store is a Japanese store that has all kinds of Korean and Japanese weird gadgets and foods and snacks and drinks and kitchen appliances. Ah, okay. So the Star of David was covered up by his clothing. I got you. All right. But maybe that was that Clint? Somebody had something kind of shiny. Remember some kind of metal thing? I always think of right there, like on an ascot or something. I don't know. I had to go back and look at that. So, but I'm really excited because I'm going to take a video and of the Japanese store because I don't know. Maybe I'm a big nerd, but I love gadgets and weird things, and so I'm really excited to get in there and check and spend some money. So Bob Crane. Oh yeah, yeah. Bob Crane. Yes, you're right. Bob Crane. Yeah, he died in a weird, mysterious hotel room. I saw the documentary about his death. I don't remember a lot about it. Whoops. But I remember watching it. It's still unsolved, I guess. His murder was unsolved. Bob Crane, yeah. It was a good show. Lorelai doesn't know why I watch it. I watch it sometimes and she's like, why are you watching that? I'm just because it's funny. It's really funny, you know. It's like, well, I don't get it. And I'm like, well, that's understandable. It's German and American humor. So I understand why, people from the Philippines probably wouldn't get it. You know what I mean? Wouldn't get the humor in it. So I get it, why she doesn't like it. But I enjoyed it. I still watch the reruns. But I like watching reruns. This week, when Lorelai gets home, we're watching Surreal Estate. It's kind of about ghostly real estate. It's a comedy, a drama comedy type thing. It's where this real estate agent goes and helps people that have died in their houses move on and exorcise them out of these houses so that when the houses are sold, it's free for people to live in or safe for people to live in. So we're watching that this week on Hulu. But you don't have TV now, so you got to go internet. I need to get caught up on Skinwalker Ranch. I don't know if anybody watches Skinwalker Ranch, but I need to get caught up on Skinwalker Ranch. So I like that show. I like the shows about science, worldly things. It's almost a cross between science and paranormal, but it's kind of more science-based because they have scientists in it. So I really like those shows. I don't like the ghost hunter shows where all they do is run around hunting ghosts because I think a lot of it's BS. So I don't really watch those, but I like the ones that about facts and history, and they can talk about how mysterious it is or unique it is or maybe the aliens, the theories is what I like. So I watch a lot of those, but oh, all right. Well, it's after 7 here, guys. Tim, everybody, I was supposed to be off of here at 7 today. So I will be back tomorrow night later. I'm going to start my live stream later again tomorrow night. But yeah, the History Channel is good. I like the History Channel. That's what I watch a lot of. That's what Skinwalker Ranch is on, is History Channel. But folks, I got a bunch of stuff to do. I was supposed to be done by 7. But I'll be back on tomorrow night. Maybe we'll have something interesting to talk about. So, Tim, I appreciate you. Everybody else still here, appreciate you. Gus, appreciate you. Meme, Henry, everybody that was in tonight, we appreciate you. But it's time for me to get some things done, so we appreciate you guys. Everybody take care. Tim, good to see you. Glad you at least got internet.